Hello, everybody, Facebook world. Yes, this is my new look. Don't laugh, or I'm going to give you the evil eye. So, it has been a while since our last ayahuasca talks. I just hear my voice in the other one. I was saying, it has been a while since our last ayahuasca talks. So I'm happy to be back, to have the time to kind of share here. Yeah, this is my new look of rock star apparently. And hello, I will remind you how this system works. And the subject, as I mentioned, is the spirits of the plants. Before I shared the video on my Facebook page when I did that talk in Philippines about the same subject. So this time we can, if you have seen the video, you can ask questions about it. Or if you don't know anything about it, we can start from zero as well. As well, if you have any questions that are connected with ayahuasca or with shamanism or with the spiritual development, you're more than welcome. Thank you so much for all the people that is already connecting. Hello, I see all my friends in Norway, Finland, UK, Sweden, of course. Hello to everybody in Peru. Yeah. Hello, America, David, Irene, Johan. Yesterday, or I think today in the morning, I posted a message that I don't have lately a lot of time to reply the messages, and I still trying to reply everybody. Still have, I don't know, more than 50 messages to reply, but I'm going to reply everybody. I like the time, to take the time to reply you the way that you deserve, not just a quick answer. Just if it's needed, sometimes yes, I say yes and no. But I think you all deserve to have quality time to find them answers to the questions that you can have or the help that you need. Because also spiritual work is not like going to the shopping mall and we take something and we bring it home. No, it's a process that we do. I want to share with you also that we have been this weekend here in Hungary, and something very beautiful came about the healing. And I want to remind you, everybody, all the people that has a lot of expectations with the plants or with the I don't know, a spiritual path connected with shamanism. Trying to find solutions for the problems that you have, that remember that the healing process, it's a process. And like we are experiencing, a human process, our healing process also has a beginning. Start with the seed of our intention, our desire of heal. Healing means to become whole again, to come back to our roots, to the origins. And when I mention that it's similar to our human process, it's because we didn't just appear in this planet as we are looking right now. If we go in front of the mirror, we have a process, like our body had a process that started, as we all know, with the encounter of the egg of our mother and the sperm of our father. And then we have been developing little by little. We become babies, and then children, and then teenagers. So our body has all that time to adjust, to learn, to get rich from all the experiences or different experiences that we can have as humans. And it's the same for our healing process. Nothing different. Nothing will just appears like that. I also have found in my experience that sometimes it's more difficult to heal the emotional part of ourselves than the, you know, physical disease that we can have. So, hello, Jessica. Hello, Magnus. Hello, Babs. I'm trying to pronounce your name correct. Feel more than welcome. Hello, Arthur. Hello, Shoal. Hello, everybody. Feel more than welcome to ask your questions. The subject is there in the air. The spirits of the plants. Ask me what you know, what you want to know about it. What is the spirit? What is the plant? We all know what is a plant. Why we call it the spirits of the plants? Because, you know, we talk a lot about the spirits, but there are different kind of spirits. The spirits that the shamans works, the shamans from the Amazon specifically, and the ones working with ayahuasca, are the spirits of the plants. Because we only not work, you know, with the plant like ayahuasca, but with many other master plants. So that's why it's the spirits of the plants in plural. And these spirits are spirits because they have a consciousness. And this consciousness have, you know, an understanding or a knowledge or a kind of wisdom inside. And we, you know, as, you know, ayahuasqueros, the people or the shamans that work with ayahuasca, have learned the ways of how to communicate with these spirits so that we can create a bridge of communication between them and the people that comes to the ceremonies for different specific reasons. Of course, the main reason is healing, but the healing happens in different levels. We have plants that heal us in the physical level, you know, specific diseases. Then we have plants also that help us healing specific energetical blockages, like, for example, sexual blockages. For that, we have Hergon Sacha, or emotional blockages that can be situated in the heart chakra, for example. And for that, it can be Bobinsana, for example. Now, how we get to know, you know, which plant is good for a specific case? Well, for that we do, you know, what we call the dietas. The dietas is the way that the shamans in the Amazon have used and have learned for many, many, many years, like I'm not talking 100 years, but 1,000 years, to communicate. So far, you know, the longest, or I don't know, oldest, not longest, the oldest, what is the word in English? The oldest evidence of the use of ayahuasca has been found in Peru for more than 2,000 years ago. I don't know about, you know, the other countries like Colombia or Brazil or Ecuador, but some of these countries, they don't share the same practices as we have in Peru, as far as I know. No, that is the diets, and that is a really important part of the healing with ayahuasca and with the plants. I'm writing an article about it and talking more specifically about this subject because nowadays we find, you know, the new age healers that are also not only, you know, how to say it, putting their hands into sacred practices, like, for example, yoga or the tantra, that this used to be disciplines that takes also, you know, many, many, many years to become a master. And the same with ayahuasca. I'm going to stop talking for a while because I see some people is writing. Julius Marie say, do you know anything about the spirits of rose and lavender? I feel they are calling me. Well, lavender, it's used to bring calmness, a more centered state. Rose, it's for bring passion, to bring also love. So when we are, for example, doing the diets in the Amazon, there are different purposes or different reasons why we do. We can separate it in two. One is the learning process, you know, when you do a training, and the other is the healing process that is going to affect the physical, the mental, the emotional body. And during this process, the shaman that is going to be taking care of the diets, it will determine what is, the spirit of the plant that is adequate for us at that point in our life, or depending what we want to learn or what we are training for. And for example, for you, Jules, lavender, if you have problems with anxiety, and this is a good spirit to connect. And the diets also has been a way of doorway or gateway to enter more into the core of the energy of the plants. It's the way that we do kind of agreements with the spirits of the plants, so that they exchange with us the wisdom that they have. So that's why, for a certain period of time, we do certain things in order that these spirits give us this. And while we are doing these things that are required from us, I will mention later this, we are opening every day that is passing. While we spend this time, in isolation with the plants, we are opening, and these plants are having the opportunity to penetrate. Some of these plants are really subtle, or they have a really subtle way of working with us. Some of these plants are not very active, like, talking with us like ayahuasca, but they are working with us. So that's why, it's very important to have also some guidance, because sometimes we can become impatient when we don't have experience with these, or we can feel a little bit lost during this process. Hello, everybody, to the people. Thank you, nice hair. There's nothing I can do now with this hair. Irene say, okay, I want to explain, Irene, now that you ask, can you say something about the most important things about the diet? I will say that it's important to difference the preparation that we do for the ceremony, just ceremonies with plants, from the dietas. It's completely different. The dietas has a specific rules, and like I say, a specific purpose that is either to heal something that was not possible to heal, for example, in a ceremony weekend, or to do training. And then the other is the preparation for an ayahuasca ceremony that is mainly to detox the body. And when we do this detox, also we are helping our body to release blockages, or to make the blockages soft. So then the medicine can work better. Yeah, because everything influences in our daily life. The food that we eat, the thoughts that we have, the feelings that we have, everything is influencing, and is also helping our healing process. The ceremonies with ayahuasca, it doesn't just work like you go to a ceremony and everything is going to be magical arranged. There are certain things to do to help that healing process to happen. And as I say, it's a process. And when we understand that, we become more patient, and we start also to see the results little by little, as we also put the effort, to do that work. Do you have questions? Well, once before I say be careful with that smoke. Once before I say what are these rules, or I don't know how to say, the things that the spirits of the plants require from us. And one is the isolation. So why we isolate ourselves when we are doing the retreat with the spirits of the plants? Because it's important to disconnect from everything that maintain us disconnected. And to maintain, it's important, to disconnect from everything that is distracting us, because it's very easy, especially in Western societies, to find ways to escape, to don't deal with the things that we need to deal that emotionally. We have build so many distractions so that we don't see what we are carrying inside. And also because I have found that one of the most difficult things that people experience is to, or that they have lost, is the capacity to be with themselves. A lot of people, cannot handle being alone. But I believe, because I have been alone many times doing these diets, I think the last one I was 15 days alone in the mountains, but this was 2 years ago. And in this time, you really, start to listen all the things that you have inside, and then to differentiate what is really inside of you and what things are being projected from other people. You start to hear your inner voice little by little. And many times it's easier, to blame other people for our suffering or for the things that happens in our life. But when we are alone, we are more open to see how this is not true. So this is one part of the diets that we do. The physical, part of being isolated from people. The other one is, I have found also in my experience that for some people that is not used to, is a little bit difficult to do, and sometimes they find a little bit better, to have the support from the group because they are all passing through the same process. And it's good sometimes to go step by step with some group of people, because it's a big impact or change of environment when you're used to certain way of living and then go in the Amazon and be disconnected totally from one day to another. I don't say it's not impossible for some people to do it, but I see that it's very difficult for some people to handle it. The other part is the food, and we in the Amazon, when we are doing these diets to connect with the spirits of the plants, we are not able, or we are not allowed to eat salt, for example, because the salt gives strength to the body, and what we want in this time is to break all kind of resistance, even physically, so that the plants can work as deeper as they can, as intense as they can, and also the ceremonies become stronger and stronger during this time. And it also becomes much more easy to handle the emotions and all what is happening during this process. As well, because many of the problems, even the energetical problems that we have, is caused because of food, because we don't know how to combine our food. And we have nowadays, available, like, we have the supermarket, we go to buy whatever we need, but we still have a little bit of ignorance about what's good to be mixed, what's not good to be mixed. We have so much preservatives, conservatives in our food, and we don't have idea how much this has an impact, in a long term. Is, of course, many things we don't notice, the effect immediately, but little by little they start to accumulate until they become a problem. So that's also, a way of giving your body time to breathe, to release all this stuff. Hello, I just saw that people is commenting more and I was just talking, so sorry. Ethan was asking about Hergon Sacha. Can you talk a little bit about these plants? What to do when you can't get in Scandinavia? Okay, Ethan, yeah, there is, you can find information about Hergon Sacha. This has so many uses, but it's very few places in the net that you will find that they say it's good for clean the sexual energies, for example. This is something that some shamans knows, but not, it's something that you cannot find. So it's the energy of these plants, it looks like a snake and it's very flexible. And, I don't know how to explain this. It's flexible like the human body, so that's why they connect it, with the sexual energies as well. And they look, I don't remember if they look like a little bit similar, like our, sexual organ. I'm not sure, but I have done the diet with this, and I know that it really clears, whatever kind of parasite energy that you could get from, a relationship, if you have one that you was not aware, that was not healthy for you. Because for every time that we have sexual energy exchange, we are doing exactly that, sexual energy exchange. And we sometimes, when we don't, make love, because love is the highest energy, when we don't make love, when we are just having sex for just pleasure, then the love is not present, therefore it's not, how to say, protecting what is inside, because I believe the love is so strong that it can transform any kind of energies. But nowadays we have misused the power of the sexual energy, that when the love is not present, then we just exchange whatever we have inside, except from the love. And in Scandinavia, well, we are planning here in Europe to do a diet in August. Our European shaman, Ines, she is the one that knows about these plants. So I think I'm going to be inviting her very soon to have the talk, so we can talk about, the spirits of the plants in Europe, so we can learn little by little what plants are good, for example. But it's good before, to try to do a diet by your own, to have some experience, because sometimes it sounds really easy to do it, but if you don't know how to do it, you can also mess your energy, just the same like with going in an ayahuasca ceremony with a person that doesn't know how to conduct the ceremony, or when you don't have guidance, you can get more problems than before you started. I have seen people, taking plants that look really innocent, and they didn't really have the respect, for example, for what they were doing, and then they were in problems after it. And so there are, many different aspects that one need to have in consideration when we are doing the diet. Like, for example, you cannot be having, arguments when you are doing a diet, because that energy is going to disrupt the process that you're having, and it makes you feel bad, and it makes you feel worse than when you are, in daily life, because let's remember that in this process we are open. So that's why, even, that small thing can affect the whole work that you have been doing to connect with the spirits of the plant, for example. And also because you are, very vulnerable in this time. So it's good to have first some guidance before to do some diets by your own. But of course, you can, find some plants and do certain kind of cleaning. It's not going to be, of course, as deep as if you, do it with all the steps and with the guidance and in combination with the ceremonies. But it helps. It helps. I think better to do something than to don't do anything. But also, sometimes it's like better to do nothing than just to mess yourself more. And just be patient and wait until you know how to do it in the proper way. The tincture, Laura, because it has alcohol, it doesn't work the same way. When it's a tincture, then it has different properties that can be used, for example, against diabetes, or that helps the immune system. So depending how you prepare the plant, what plant part of the plant you're using, also you're going to have the results. So for clean the sexual energies, what is used from the Hergon Sacha, it's the root part that looks like a potato, not the leaves, not the flowers. So depending of what part, also it has a different vibration. So you need to check that when you buy. Because also when we are doing the diets, we are not allowed to, for example, drink alcohol, because alcohol is also a spirit. But we are already, connecting with the spirit, so we don't need that other spirit interfere in the process. Cian is asking, I read your article about ayahuasca marijuana. It was a great article, and I'm a daily user, and I have drunk ayahuasca about 20 times. But now I feel disconnected from plants and jungle. Can you discuss this, please? Yes, I was. It is, you know, the marijuana subject is a very common subject, and one of the things that nowadays it's important to know is that we don't longer know how pure it's still this plant, because it has been so many modifications. So so to say that we have interference so much genetically with this plant that also we have, you know, messed the plant energetically. So if, of course, it's still existing, and I think it's still available, you know, seeds or plants or places where you can find the plant that has not been modified. But even that, you know, that small change can affect and disconnect you, for example, from feeling. I find that marijuana is a really strong teacher. It's a really good teacher. And when you understand how to manage the energies, you can, you know, work with this energy. But it's a very strong energy. It's like, as the marijuana user knows, it's a very seductive energy. It's really easy to, you know, to get into that energy. And that's why it's more, you know, dangerous than other plants. Because if you don't have enough, how to say, willpower, it will take over you. And that's not what we want when we get in touch with you know, with the plants. It needs to be, how to say, a work together, a dance between, you know, that energy and you. And also, it is really easy to a certain point, of course, to avoid to live life, because it brings you into a state where you feel so comfortable and good with life that you are not interacting with life. And I don't know if some of you have seen people that smoke a lot, that they kind of get stuck, you know, emotionally, and even, you know, maturely is the word? Mature, yeah. Like it affects, you know, their maturity. It also can create big blockages in the pineal gland or the third eye, because of the way that it's ingested. Like the best way, you know, to ingest a plant is by oral ingestion, because the stomach is designed to process the energies. That's why, you know, we have a lot of problems also with the digestion when we don't know how to handle the stress, for example, or and the emotions in general. So that's why even, you know, that small detail of how you take a medicine, it can affect your process. And that's why it's very important to know and to have experience before we are going to experiment with the plants. I have been trying, you know, both ways, and in my experience, for me, the best has been the oils that you ingest, because it has longer effect. It gives you more clarity, and also you don't want to do it as often. And also, once you have dealt with many of your emotional issues, when you have healed that part, when it's nothing that you want to avoid or to cover, this plant, it really opens you to disconnect, for example, the mental blockages that can sometimes interfere with your creative process. So it kind of puts down whatever is between you and your creative part. But of course, this you can also achieve, you know, if you work more and more and more deep in yourself. But I think it's a really, really good plan to work once you understand the energies. But if you are having these problems, you know, Xian, with this plant, because it's a really strong energy, it takes a little bit of more time to clear, because first you need to work with the mess that has been done by the misusing of the plant. Then once that's clear, then you need to work with the problems that you have, you know, before all the mess started. And it can take a while. That, and if you are, like you say, a daily user, it can be a process, you know, 1 year. That, of course, you know, in that year you are going to start feeling a little better and a little better and a little better. But I will not say to you or lie to you like in a weekend you can start, you know, feeling good. I will say, like, if you can try to take a year off, or just to dedicate a year into detox, into really serious work, emotionally, you know, spiritually, mentally, that you can reconnect, because everything is possible to be fixed. Everything is energies, and when the energies are just not in the place, we just need to accommodate them. Some takes a little bit more time, some takes a little less time, but at the end everything is possible. The only thing that is not possible that I know is when we die. That we cannot do anything. But also we don't need that, because we are spirits. Hello, Justina. Nice to meet you. You're asking about the medicine and the antidepressants. Yeah. I really don't know, like, the medical part. I know that because it's very strong chemicals that affects the neurological system, which is also a place where the ayahuasca is working, that it can create, you know, a conflict. And like it can do what is shortcut? Electroshock.
Electric shock?
That's the right word?
Yeah, electric shock.
Yeah, like, you know, when it's in the house, you know, with electricity, just because one medicine has like the antidepressants, it has, I think, things that is to suppress functions in the brain, and the ayahuasca has the opposite. So you are using, you know, two different energies that will be kapun. So that's why it's not good, and it's important to be honest when you go to ceremonies. You are taking these medications because there are some that are more stronger than others, and always, you know, it's only your doctor that knows how to slowly get out of the antidepressants, because some people, they have more dosages than others. Depends also how long you have been taking the antidepressants. And, you know, I always say to people, if you really want to do the healing, then do it the right way. If you are with medication, go to your doctor, do the, you know, the what is lowering the dosages. Go, if it's going to be a withdrawal, go to a place where you can have the withdrawal of the medication, and then you are prepared to go into ayahuasca. That you don't put in risk, you know, the people that can help you, and that also you don't put in risk your life. Because if really you want to heal, you should not find any excuses of, you know, helping yourself in a good way. Yeah, I only. One second, I'm going there. You only eat the root of her second. Yes, it's a powder. It's a powder, and you take it in spoons. But the dosage also, you know, depends. But if you want to do that, Laura, you can do the diet, you know, until midday, like taking the powder. You just mix it with a little bit of water. But the thing is also, you know, with buying things online, that you will never know that is the real thing, especially when it's a powder. But they're trustable places. John is asking if I know any good plants, herbs, roots from Europe, Sweden. Yeah, I have been dieting this tree. What is the name in Swedish? Is bjork, a birch tree, for 15 days when I was living in Sweden, in the north. And it's a very good plant for cleaning the energies. It's a very good plant also to access to, you know, knowledge, because this tree has been present in the history of Europe for a long time. And this is, you know, I don't know if you know the birch tree. It looks like a paper, and it grows. It's the only tree that grows so far, you know, in the Arctic Circle. And without this tree, life there will not be possible in the old times. So it's a really strong tree as well, that it brings protection. For example, I guess it also will be good, to take the cold out of the body. If you analyze the environment of this, it's very connected with the fire as well, because it burns very easy. So yeah, just by analyzing, for example, the environment of the tree, you can get to know for what it's good. But yeah, I did the diet, and I know for sure that it's very good to bring cleansing, to also bring protection, and also to get rid of coldness from the body that can later create some problems like rheumatism or these kind of body pains that are caused by sometimes we don't know that cold can affect us later. It say Hergonsache in a relation to fungus and mold in my blood. How is the Hergonsache spirit working with this? Do you have fungus and mold in your blood? Yes, because Hergonsache works also, in the immune system, and they even use it for the, what is the word? For help people that has HIV, HIV. So it is a plant that is working the immune system. That's why, if you have any kind of problem that is connected with the immune system, it helps. Also, for people that has problems with the skin, it's also very good. Hello there. You see everybody? Hola, Ana. Brandon, do you have any experience dealing with patients who have liver problems? Yes. For them, for example, depending, of course, on what kind of liver problems they have, you can prepare an ayahuasca that is a little bit, for example, not so, concentrate as the usual one that takes 3 days. You can make a lighter medicine, but then they need to drink more, of course, because the problem with the ayahuasca is that it's a hot medicine, and when the liver is having problems, it's because it has too much also fire, in if we talk about the energetic part. Like, for example, people that drinks a lot, the alcohol, it's hot, isn't it? So it's fire. So that's why the liver gets, overwhelmed by this. So then what do you need in that case? If I have somebody that wants to drink ayahuasca, I'm first going to put in treatment with San Pedro, the fresh cactus, not the powder, because the powder, it sometimes doesn't get processed in the organs when they are not working good and can create stones. So instead of doing good, can do bad. But the fresh plant, it's very good. The San Pedro is the opposite. The ayahuasca, it's like water medicine. It calms, it relaxes the inner organs. So that is, for example, a good medicine for people that has problems with the liver, because it's going to relieve the pain, if it's, or the inflammation, and plus giving the energetical part of the healing part, Brandon. Hello, Buzz. Thank you, Buzz. Arthur, what if someone is suppressing, let's say, anger or fear, and he should try to find the help through the plants' spirits? That plants can also teach us about the negative energies and emotions. Some way negative emotions and feelings are also teaching us about ourselves. So can plant spirit can show us what the emotions, feelings want to teach us? Yes, they are, Arthur, as we are, for example, doing the diets, as we are, getting all these restrictions, it's much more easier to get annoyed, to get peace, to, get in touch with these negative emotions. Because at the end of the day, that's what we want, to get rid of these negative emotions, or to change them, into something positive. I was talking with you about, the positive and the negative doesn't really exist. It's just one extreme of the other part, So really, what is a negative emotion? It's a part of us that we have ignored, that we have not given enough, attention or love. That is peace with us, basically, and that's why it's making us feel angry or in pain, because it's calling for our attention, so that we give the care that it needs. when we are conscious about this in a diet, then instead of reacting, for example, when we feel anger with anger, then in a diet, instead of reacting with anger to the feeling of anger, we need to find a way to, work with that anger. Because one thing is the emotion that is there inside, and the other thing is how you deal with it. And the way that it needs to be done is, by observing, like becoming a third part in the process and just observing without engaging, into the emotion, without letting the emotion to makes you, part of the emotion. Just observing and then giving love, or letting just the emotion be, but without, of course, manifesting in physical aggression, for example. But just letting it feel as angry as you can, but without, manifesting it in the outside, like destroying something. And sometimes this is the only thing that it wants your attention, that you embrace it, and then they disappear. Then you give it love. So there are different ways of dealing and with these energies. And yes, one of the, parts of doing the diet is this, the releasing or the transformation of these emotions. Yeah. Sometimes there is not, this guidance during the diets, or we forget when we are doing it, because it's sometimes easier just to get angry than, to observe. But as I say, that's why, it's not an easy process to do, and that's why it takes many, many years, for a person like that works with ayahuasca, for a shaman to be able to call him or herself a shaman, to manage to work with these energies. It's not only that you learn, how to work with the energies of the plant, but it also involves the management of these energies, because the anger, the love, these are energies as well. So all this process, when we are doing our healing, we are doing our training, is not about, just how to open, how to close a ceremony, how to do the healing, but it's also understanding all kinds of energies, understanding what is the energy, and then you can, you can work with everything. That's why I say always, when a shaman has mastered the understanding of the energies through the conquer of his or her own emotions, which are energies, then you can work with the plants, with any plants, not just ayahuasca or San Pedro, but any plants, because you have mastered yourself. Then therefore you can, master other things also. Hello. I see more questions here. Hoopsie, can you write the name of the plant here, please? Hergon Sacha, they write it. In the end of the video, I'm going to share a link here, but that link only have information about the physical healing aspects of the plant, not the energetical one, so you will not find there the sexual thing. But you will find this that is good for diabetes and also for the immune system. I'm going to share the link there. How you use a birch tree? Okay, so the time when I did the diet with the birch tree, it was with the bark, and also you can, and with the bark, it was, I feel it was to connect with the strength of the tree in order to bring protection for myself. In the spring, I think it's the time when the birch tree, it has the liquid or the juice. Some people, they drill a hole and then you can take the, what is called the blood of the tree? It's the blood of the tree. I don't know. You know what I mean. This liquid. Syrup. And the syrup. Yeah, syrup. And then this, for example, it can help to detox and to clean in spring, because also the spring time is the time, as I learned it yesterday, is the time when we do? We clear?
The liver.
When we clean.
Yes, it's
we renew.
Associated. The spring is associated.
And it's good to clean, like the liver, for example. With also, this is the organ connected with the anger, for example. Yeah, I don't know if they have powder or tablet, but the best is to use as natural as possible. Either the bark or the liquid of this. And of course, when the summer comes, you can use the leaves as like to have we call it in Peru flower baths, and that can also be for cleaning the energy. Julie Marie, do you think it will be possible to do an isolation diet with lavender on my own? It's what I feel I should do, but I'm not sure whether if it's wise to do it on my own. I've been preparing for an ayahuasca ceremony last summer, so I started following a no salt, sugar, diet, etc. Diet for several weeks, but then got the feeling that I'm not ready yet. That's when I started hearing the local plant spirit calling me. It started with nettle, but back then I didn't really understand and was afraid to follow what I was perceiving. Nettle asked me to go into nature on my own and only ate nettle seeds. But as I was afraid, I didn't follow through. Nevertheless, she kept on guiding me through many dietary exchanges, and after I moved places, lavender and rose started calling me. So I'm considering to go out into nature and installation to be able to hear them. Yeah, well, if you're feeling these, Jules, I think it's a good thing that you do this. Just remember, as I told you, it's important when we do a diet that we set our commitment, in the beginning, like I'm going to spend 10 days with you, and that you follow that, and that during that time you are committed to observe, what's happening with you, that you don't get distracted from what you need to do, and that you spend your time in trying to connect with the plants and in being present as well. So, not getting angry during that time, and, observing your food. In Peru, when we do the diets, there, depends on where you are and who is your teacher. The best way I have found, or a little bit healthy way, is just by eating once a day rice and lentils without salt, because it creates a protein apparently in the body that doesn't let you to lose so many muscles. So it's kind of protecting you, your physical part as well. And if we talk about the energetical part of rice and lentils, it doesn't have much, vibration to interfere, with the vibration of the plants that you want to diet. Because, for example, if you add a carrot in your diet, then you're adding a different vibration to the diet as well. So everything that you put or that you eat during your diet is also going to, become part of it. So if what you want is just, to spend as much time with the lavender and the rose, then just, eat this rice and lentils without salt. You can also have boiled potatoes. Yeah. And what is we have in Peru, the green bananas. You can also have green bananas. I don't know if you can find the sweet ones here. But that's, that's it. Some people, they eat eggs, but I think that's way too much interference if you want to connect with the plant. Hello, John. Again. Yeah, thank you. He say, Martin, hey, I'm hitting the Julian Pampa this weekend for my second diet. Oh, thank you, Martin. Hello. Justina was asking what kind of emotions brings eating meat in our diet. Well, for me, the times when I feel like eating meat, I do it for grounding, to ground myself. When I feel that I'm, seeing too many spirits or feeling, in the clouds. But I think also that it makes a big difference when you pray for your food, that, even if you don't have, for example, the financial help to afford to have, organic meat or food, because it's more expensive here in Europe, just with the intention of transforming that energy, you can also, help. If the animal, for example, has been killed in a cruel way, to help that energy to have more peace, because you are being grateful when you pray, because you are also, you can pray for that soul that finds peace, that finds a release, a happy ending now that is not, and that, at least one person is giving that honoring to that spirit that was once occupied in that body. Uh, because sometimes it doesn't matter how organic you can eat if you are, eating with anger, for example, or if you are um, eating with sadness or not being present. It's not going to be any different from the person that is not, more conscious than you, and that is, eating that steak that is not organic, but with happiness, because that vibration is changing. And that's why, the understanding of, the suffering of the animals doesn't touch other people, because their reality is different to, the reality that we can experience. But well, anyway, I'm not going to talk more about that, because I know the vegans friends are going to react. Just joking. Hello. Birch sap. Yes, that. Hello. Hello, Brandon. Sin, do you have any plans to visit the USA? I think I really need to drink. Oh, yes, we have some plans to go in October, but we are trying to get in touch with the Native Americans, because we know that in Native American lands to have ceremonies is legal, and we are trying to do this the safest way for everybody. So if you know anything, or if any of you know, a way that we can go and have the opportunity to hold ceremonies in Native American lands, that are protected, then in these places the ceremonies are legal, as far as I know. And we are having this, how to say, the spirits are giving in exchange ceremonies for the native people also for free. But this is something that we are working. I hope that it's going to come true, but you're going to receive news here in Facebook when this is more settled. But in my intentions and in my calendar, it's programmed that in October we can go to the States, to these areas, if everything goes well. Hello, Etienne. Yeah, Etienne is saying that also birch is known in Scandinavia for helping when having pollen allergy. Getting more acknowledges here. Yes, very good information for people there. Do you have any experience with Mexican drink? I have some. I have very good. No, I don't have, but I have here people doing a diet and it's really good. So I will say, go ahead, because the knowledge of how to connect with the spirits of the plants are now reaching out to South America or Peru, for a reason that we start also to reconnect with the spirits of the plants that are everywhere, and that we can recover the knowledge that it was once upon a time more present, like the spiritual part of this reconnection. So yeah, just do it, Brandon. I think it's a really good idea, and write something and let us know how it goes. Yeah, dude. The play of the grace is experiencing and accepting everything from the mountain top of your being and treat it with love. Thank you, Arthur. Thank you for advice, says Julie. Very good, Julie. Nice. You was knowing about the rice and everything. Very good. Irene, is 2 weeks with the diet enough before the ayahuasca corrected? If you don't have a really healthy diet, I will say to do that this diet is the best, to do it as long as you can, because as I say, if you want to maintain the benefits of what you achieve in the ayahuasca retreats, you need to help the energy to settle in you, so that there is going to be a point where your body doesn't have any more needs, of, for example, having refined sugar or these things, because it's a very, the junk food is very addictive, and like I was saying, in long term it creates blockages, and that's, I think, also why many people here in Europe, sometimes even when they go to ceremonies, they still come back to the same, because the important habits like eating, for example, has not changed, and this needs to change as well. And until reach that level that is easier for you and natural to do, just as natural it is eating junk food. I will say. The birch tree is the one I was using, Hopsy, like that I say. Bjork, yes, Bjork. Oh, and yes, I'm going to contact you. Can you try to click on his Facebook, and then one of the members of the thing is going to add you. His name is Sherwin, and I will contact you through him, Xian. Hello, Cecile. Hello, Rosa. Okay, I think that's until where I see the comments. I don't know, people, if you have more. I don't know if we have covered, the subject completely. I see that it's already 1 hour around, and I don't want to make you fall asleep. But I can now give my break and do advertising, please, for my ceremonies. Thank you so much. We'll take a break for commercials. I should have like tan-ta-tan, tai-ta-inti ceremonies. I want to invite you to meet the new team. We have Ines from Latvia, that is the European shaman that is sharing with us, their work that she has been doing before ayahuasca came to her life. So he's combining that, and really, really, pleasure to hear her singing in the ceremonies. She sings really beautiful, and that we don't have to be born in the Amazon to find the connection with the plant. But yes, the respect, and respect is something that needs to be present in all our practices, because spiritual practices, it's more and more connected with having moral values. And if a healer doesn't have these moral values, then what we are talking about. Also, Paolo is joining us pretty soon in Europe for the ceremonies. He is 15. He has 15 years of experience, and he has one of the best, ayahuascas that I have tried in my life, to be honest. Even better than my teacher. And my teacher is really old. And why not to say when it's true? This. I want to check our calendar. We are full book already for the ceremony in Sweden, that is in April, for the, I think, 2022 of April. It's a full book already. We still have a space for the 5 days retreats that we have in Sweden. I don't know where it is. Can you open the calendar? I'm opening the calendar. Be patient. We still have places for the one that is in, let me see, in June, the 1 to the 5 of June, that is a 5-day ceremony with 4 ceremonies, 3 ayahuasca and 1 San Pedro, and you can book, just in the ayahuasca or just in the San Pedro or all together. So if you want more information, just send us an email to info@taitainti.com to receive the program. And also we have a ceremony in Jogmok that is for the 25 to the 27. We have also half of the places available still for this ceremony in May, the 25 to the 27. And also I invite you to come to Latvia. We'll have ceremonies there with San Pedro, 2 ceremonies. When, I'm trying to find it, don't remember. Hello, where are you? In June. Yeah, the 25 and the 26, we have ceremonies in Latvia. We have also ceremonies in Germany, 5 days retreats, also 4 ceremonies, 3 ayahuasca, 1 San Pedro from the 8th to the 12th in Frankfurt. And we have ceremony in Netherlands, also 5 days, but we have some problems, so I'm going to give more news about that soon. Then we have the retreat in Hungary, that is also 5 days retreat, that we also have still places for this. And then Switzerland, the 31 of August to the 2nd of September. This is just a weekend. And then it comes the 1 month diet in Europe. We are waiting for confirm the place. It may be Latvia for this event. And I'm going to be posting more information soon as well. September, I'm going in the holidays to my country. October, we go to the States. We came back in November, and then we go to Philippines. But so apparently for this year, we are going to be here just until August. So if you want to join the ceremonies, I let you know this. And now with the help and support of the friends that I have in different countries, we are also start, to work already in the calendar for the next year. So if you are interested, like now with time, or arrange ceremonies for next year, weekend ceremonies or 10-day ceremonies, the only thing that you need to do is send an email or send me a message that you want to arrange something. And if you want to arrange something, it's either because you cannot travel, you have the facilities, like you have a place, or a place where we can do the ceremony. You have economical problems, you cannot afford to come to a ceremony, or you have a really big problem that you don't have money, you cannot travel, like you're really in bad situation. So we are more than happy to go to your place and do the ceremony for you, and in exchange we just ask for help as finding a place where we can hold the retreat, and then the rest I take care with the you saw the advertising that I work, like we send a message to the universe, to the people that wants to come, and then they come, because I have not learned yet to communicate telepathically with everybody, that the ceremonies are in this day, so I need to post on Facebook. I hope you understand that. And yeah, feel more than welcome to write to us if you want to start arranging things for next year. And I repeat again, until August, we are going to be here in Europe, all August, and then we go to Asia. We have also placed still in Bali for the ceremony. Bali is a very beautiful place. We hope also to be there in December, holding a longer retreat. And Philippines, very happy to go back there. Brandon is like, Canada, yes, I want to go to Canada. But my way of working, I want to let you know, it's by invitation, as I mentioned, for any of the reasons I say before, like if you cannot travel, you don't have money, you want to help arranging this, you want to learn, you want to heal. I don't choose the countries I go. It's the spirits that through you people brings these opportunities also for me and for the medicine and for the friends that I'm working with, that I can make this possible. So I'm not going to change that way of working, because I promise to myself and to the spirit that I'm going to do this work as long as the people want. So if I don't receive invitations anymore, I'm not going to be doing this either. So feel more than welcome to contact us. Yes, we are in Poland as well. Sorry, I forgot. When we are in Poland? We are in Poland in July, 4 days retreat, the 6th to the 9th. We have 2 ayahuasca ceremonies and 1 San Pedro ceremony. And also you can book just for ayahuasca or just for San Pedro. It depends of you, or the whole program. And also it's coming the days for Norway very soon. I just need to have a meeting with my dear Norwegian friends. And yeah, we have also retreat in UK in 2 weeks. We still have places if you want to join. It's going to be in Breckland. It was something like that, in 2 weeks. And happy to be here. I don't know if you have any more questions. Feel welcome to do, or just I see you until the next time. I hope, I'm working hard to do these ayahuasca talks more often, but yeah, it's working as it can work. So thank you so much for joining here. I'm happy, even if one person is listening, and I have right now, 26 listening. So thank you so much for spending, your time when you can do other things, listening to this crazy lady. And we keep in touch, keep going, have confidence with life, and that everything in your life is happening for a reason, for a higher purpose. Don't doubt of yourself. be kind with yourself, drink water, and don't hesitate, to ask for help as well. Pray as well, because praying is one of the most powerful ways of healing. Because when we pray, also we become humble and we recognize that we are not alone and that we need help. It's a way of also being grateful and saying, to the universe, like, yeah, I don't know nothing, I am nothing, and I need help. Praying is a very good way to humble the self as well. So have a really good evening, and traveling later to Switzerland. Looking forward to be there again, sharing the medicines. And see you until the next time. Keep an eye on where we are coming. And if you have any suggestion about, what you would like to hear for the next ayahuasca talks, just leave it here in the comments. I'm going to be checking later. Or write me, in private if you would like to have or to give me a suggestion for the next ayahuasca talk. Have a good night, and bye-bye.